Hello Transformers fans, Veelio here, and today we are doing a toy review looking at none other than the Studio Series 86 Autobot Blaster as well as Eject. Let's get into it. Blaster comes straight out of the box, and it is a box that has some beautiful artwork front and back as well. It is a really nice figure with a really cool mould, and it is a mould that we have seen before. He first popped up in, I believe it was Kingdom, and he has then since shown up again in Legacy with first the Netflix series colours, and then following that the Marvel UK colours, and finally here for the first time we've got him in his Studio Series 86 colours, based off of course, none other than the original Transformers animated movie. And as you can see here, the colours, in specific the face, are really nice, really accurate, and the face mould in general is a really nice one. So much detail and character in the face, in the eyes, and I really do prefer this colour as opposed to the red and black counterparts. Blaster comes with one real accessory. It is this really nice rifle. Some really great detailing on the rifle, as you can see, a little sniper scope here as well. I'm not sure I've actually seen him use this in many mediums, but it's a really nice, big, hefty pistol, and I really quite like the way it looks on him. The rifle is able to plug into either of his two hands. However, I would recommend putting it in the left hand, as the right hand has a particularly posed finger. As you can see here, the index finger is pointing out, which is going to be to make him be able to press this button here. More on that later. And other detailings on this figure do include this detailed chest here. This is not what the inside of the chest looks like. This is not a clear piece at all. This is a painted, sculpted piece, and it's really nice. His legs have some really nice detailed plastic here all around. You've got some really nice details kind of giving away his alt mode and making him look like the kind of Transformer you'd imagine he would be. And the back as well is a really clean back. Literally zero kibble at all, and even filled out legs as well. There is a little bit of hollowness on the thighs here, but the legs themselves are really filled out. You can see here he's got a little volume button on each side with some detailing in the plastic as well as a little play pulls bit on the back here, alongside a really flat back. There are a few peg holes here and a few screw holes. Obviously you can use the peg holes for any kind of stand you may have, but on the whole it looks really clean front and back, and I'm almost shocked in a way at how flat this guy is. Of course, he is definitely aided by the fact that his alt mode is a cassette, as you can remember from the 1986 movie. But even so, I would have thought it would have been a lot more sacrifice, if you will. I never actually picked up any of the original mold. This is my first time having this mold in hand, and when I turned it around and just saw that back completely flat, I was gobsmacked. And speaking of having the figure in hand, he feels really great. He's got a really nice, sturdy weight to him. All of his joints feel really tight, but in a good way. Not too tight and definitely not too loose. And on that note, let's look at what kind of poses we can get him into.
Don't tell me I should think otherwise. Take me with you to the sunrise.
So now that we've seen some of the poses Blaster can get into, let's take a look at his articulation. And I have to say, for a figure of his size, he's got some great articulation. So we'll start off at the head, which is on a ball joint. It can go the whole 360 ways around. The arms can go all the way up that far and all the way round here. The legs have got a kick that goes that far out, and his legs actually cannot go back at all unless you untab this back bit here, and that allows the leg to go all the way back. And he can do a very nice splits. He has got no finger articulation, but his wrist can bend inwards a little bit, although that's really part of the transformation. And as I mentioned earlier, this wrist is again the same, with the finger already posed and moulded in this pointing position. He's got a bend at the bicep and a bend at the knee. And finally, a very nice ankle pivot. So now that we have seen the majority of what he can pull out in bot mode, I have to say it's a really nice mode. I'm absolutely in love with this design, and all the way around to the very back as well, it is just really well filled out. The only real thing I would say is that the inside of the hands are quite hollow, although that is, as you can imagine, for the transformation, but it's not the end of the world at all. His blaster is a really cool one. Blaster and Blaster. And one thing about him that we have not mentioned yet, which makes makes him even cooler is the working cassette. So as we know, he is a cassette player by trade, and as like you would always see with Blaster, he's got a lot of little cassettes that he can store. So this finger itself can be posed up to press into this little button here, and to be honest with you, it doesn't really work if you try to do it with his finger. As you can see, it does press in, but as you can see, it takes quite a lot to get it out. But you can press it yourself like that, and it pops out quite satisfyingly to reveal Eject. So Eject is a little cassette player, as you can see here. Some really nice sculpting. The difference between this Eject and the Eject that came in the, I believe, Legacy mode is that this one is full out plastic. The other one was clear plastic. This one is filled in proper plastic all the way through, which makes it a lot more durable and a lot more sturdy in the long run. And whilst it is quite clearly just a robot, you know, kind of folded together, it's not anything that's going to be groundbreaking with this size. It is quite clearly a cassette still. It's got the two little holes there to show it's a cassette, and as I just showed you, it slots in very nicely into Blaster's chest and looks the part. It's all I need it to be. And his transformation is very, very easy. All you got to do is turn around and start off with the head, which can be a little bit tricky to get out, as you can imagine, but you got to kind of pull that head out like this. Once you manage to get the head out, just spin it around like that, and then unfold the leg there, unfold the leg, oh, it's a tight one there, unfold the arm, which doesn't really have a hand, it's kind of moulded in there, as you can see, but it's got that in the way, and then unfold the other arm, twist the legs around, and here you have Autobot Eject. And Eject's cool. He's nothing groundbreaking. He can perch up on Blaster's shoulder, as you can see there. He can also sit on his own. He can stand quite well on his own as it is. As you can see, he's a small fella, but that's all he needs to be. I would have really preferred it to be Rewind, but that's his personal character preference and nothing more. For what he is and for all he is, I think he's pretty awesome. He doesn't need to be anything more than that. The main kind of gimmick for him is to make him a cassette. And you can do that by turning the head back around and folding it in, and just folding in each part of his body. So his arms just fold inwards like so, and his legs fold inwards like so. And there you have him back in his cassette form, as easy as that, which you can take and put into Blaster. And the only thing I have to say about this figure is that he doesn't 100% go in very well. It can be quite tricky to kind of really push him in and get it to shut. Once you get it in, it's fine. The connection is perfect. You have no problem with it, but you have to push it quite far in the first place to actually get it in. And in some occasions like this one, you got to take it out, kind of squeeze it all together a bit more and give it a little bit of a reshuffle, and then hopefully it should go in. I'm actually having quite a lot of trouble with it, as you can see. So that is one thing I would say about this figure. It's a little bit of a letdown. It's really not easy to get in. It should be quite simple. You would imagine it should be quite an easy put in, but it really is not. It's caused me quite an issue here. He's not mistransformed, it's just like this. You have to kind of squeeze it down all together at the same time, and the clearance is very, very small indeed. There we go. So I finally got him in. Whether that's a problem with the way that I'm doing it, or whether it's just an issue with the figure, I'm not sure. Maybe my copy is particularly tight. Let me know in the comments below if your copy is like this. But overall, Blaster in his robot mode is really, really cool. A good figure with great posability, great articulation, and a really good accessory as well. And so, without further ado, let's get into the transformation. A transformation that I found to be really, really quite simple, quite fun as well, and unique. As obviously there aren't many alt modes like Blaster's, so it really was quite a unique one for me, and I really enjoyed doing it. Let's get into it. And here you've got Blaster in his cassette player mode. This looks really, really nice. I mean, the detailing here is just brilliant. I mean, he looks like he is straight out of the G1 cartoon. The detailing is brilliant. All the little bits we saw on the legs earlier have all come right to the forefront here to make a really nice detailed front. And once again, the back is really, really clean. I mean, you can kind of tell that is the back, but only because you've already seen it before. If you saw it like this for the first time, you would not be thinking that is the back of a figure at all. And it's even got tiny bits of detail here with little forward wind and back wind buttons, as well as little paneling here on the sides. And of course, the actual side of the cassette as well is really well detailed. You wouldn't really be able to tell those are the toes if you didn't already know it. It's a really nice detailed cassette, and I'm a big fan of it. It is quite simply a block. There's no kind of articulation or anything to it. It's just a nice weighty figure, but it looks great. It's really quite cool. You can almost kind of pick it up and carry it. It's got quite a lot of size to it. And speaking of size, here is how he sized it up to a couple of his Studio Series 86 counterparts, including, of course, Dinobot Snarl, who is a very sizable figure in himself. As you can see, they are quite similarly sized in length. Let me just plop him on top here. He's a pretty big guy. The cassette's fantastic, it's everything I would want it to be, and the transformation was really, really quick, really simple, and really fun. And once again, you can press this button here at the bottom. He pops open, and Eject is in there once again. So he is there at all times. He can stay in there during the transformation. Nothing is wrong with that. It's a great figure and a great mould, and I really like it. So I have to say, overall, Blaster is a really cool figure. And you can see here in bot mode once again, he is tall. He's a really tall guy. You know, for a Voyager class, he's a really great figure. And that leads me to say, if you have not got this mould yet, pick it up. And if you already have and you want the G1 official movie colours, it's worth getting again. He's so much fun to handle. Eject's a great little accessory as well. His Blaster, hey, is really cool. And all that's really left to say is for Seaspray to come in with his classic nautical voice and give his opinion on him. So, Seaspray, what's the verdict? 4 out of 5. Not bad. 4 out of 5. Thanks, Seaspray. And thanks to all of you guys for watching this video today. I really do appreciate it. If you have enjoyed it, please do consider liking and subscribing and leaving a comment below on what you think of Blaster. It would really help my channel out. Thanks again so much for watching, guys. And thanks for Blaster for being a great figure. I'll see you all for some more Transformers content very soon. Bye-bye.